And I think that truly this is why Trump ended up winning. I think that even though a lot of people, especially in the middle, did not like him, they at least appreciated the fact that, and I think that if she would have been more clear, if she would have taken more ownership of the past 4 years and how things have gone, and then offered up new solutions, whether they were good or not, I think that she would have earned a lot more votes from people, especially that were in the middle. All right, guys, I truly do think that Kamala could have won this election. There's a lot of people that are saying that, well, she lost because she was a woman, she lost because she was black. And to be honest, I don't think it had anything to do with that. As a matter of fact, it didn't even have to do with their personality, right? I think that both her and Trump both have personalities that really weren't liked, right? I don't think that we got any good feelings or vibes from either of them. Like Kamala and her laugh and Trump and his history. I don't think that really personality in this case made a difference in this election and how America voted. So what I want to do is really go over the policies that each of these two candidates ran on, and why Kamala ran on the wrong things, and why this led to her ultimately losing this election. So starting off, she really ran on two things that were clear to everybody. And I say this because there's a lot of things that maybe she mentioned here and there, but she didn't really have a good plan of attack, or she maybe blamed Trump and kind of used, instead of offering like an actual solution to the problem, she just, blamed Trump and referenced how bad his approach would be, right? So the two main things that we could see that Kamala ran on was abortion, right? She ran on the fact that a lot of people were mad that Roe v. Wade was overturned, and that was one of her talking points to the American people. And the other one was trans rights. I think that she was very clear on her stance on trans rights and where she wanted to go with that. And I think that the problem that she ran into is that, I'm not saying that this should have not been a focus for her. It could have been like a sub thing that she referenced or talked on. But the main reason why I think this failed for her is that she focused on issues that only affected or primarily affected a small population of people, right? Abortion, right? Most of us are not being affected by abortion. I'm not saying that it's right or that it's wrong, but if you think about it, if we were having abortions all the time, then our population would have like ceased to exist a long time ago. And the trans rights, I mean, I think it's like 2-3% really of folks that would identify as trans. And you have people that are supportive, but if in the grand scheme of things, right, affecting America as a whole, I don't think that was a major concern for Americans. And it wasn't like Roe v. Wade got rid of abortion, right, altogether. In fact, now it just went to the states. So people that cared about this issue still had the hope and knew that, okay, I can still legislate at the state level. We can still fight this cause if that was something that, you were into. And for the trans right piece, I feel like at large, America really truly did feel like we went overly on one side of the pendulum, and they wanted to kind of reach an equilibrium a little bit. So for her, I think like that was her biggest mistakes. Like she didn't focus on issues that affected the majority of Americans. And I think that this is where Trump won. He focused on issues that affected most Americans. The border, right? Overall, it is, and it continues to be, at least at this point, still a mess. This is something that is affecting it has started to affect the surrounding areas of the border, but most Americans can very easily understand how having people come into this country that we don't know anything about could affect us negatively, right? So a lot of people understood, especially Hispanic Americans, that this could be a issue if we don't confront it head on. And the thing is that Kamala, she didn't really offer any types of solution for this. The one thing that she kept on saying was that, well, we tried to pass a bill and Trump somehow stopped it, right? That was kind of like her main response to the border. And to be honest, I think that this was an issue that I think that she could have won, because if she would have said, hey, we messed up in these past 4 years, and she could have saved face, like, we're trying to do this and this, but we've seen that it really is not working. We are going to refocus on this, come up with some type of plan, and let the American people know, like, look, this issue that you think is happening or that we're going to solve it, and we understand that we messed up. I think that if she would have taken some ownership, I think that she would have gotten a lot of votes from people, especially that were in the middle, right? The economy. Most of the interviews that I saw with her addressing the economy is just her saying, look, I know things are bad. Yes, things are really bad. And eggs are expensive. And that was the extent of it. For the most part, we didn't get any concrete plans in order to better this economy, right? Trump gave some clear ways, whether you agree with them or not, of ways to improve the economy. And again, some ownership, I think, could have gotten her more votes if she would have owned, say, hey, we understand maybe it's not completely our fault, but it still happened under our watch. The economy, we know, is not where it should be. This is where we made mistakes, and this is how we're going to make better. She could have won a lot of votes there. And lastly, the war and impending wars that we have. This affects everyone, right? And Trump, from the beginning, is like, I don't want any wars. I'm going to put a stop to anything that could threaten our peace. Whereas from Kamala, we didn't really hear much of what her plans truly were when it came to our war situation and our potential involvement in some of these wars. So I think that people overall, on issues that truly mattered to them, I don't think that they got a good sense of where she stood. And I think that if she would have been more clear, if she would have taken more ownership of the past 4 years and how things have gone, and then offered up new solutions, whether they were good or not, I think that she would have earned a lot more votes from people, especially that were in the middle. Because think about it. You're looking at all of the comments that are coming out now, and I guarantee you most Americans don't understand all of the proposals or all of what tariffs are really going to do if Trump decides to put a tariff on China and all these places. I don't think that most Americans fully understand how that will affect, but at least they understood that Trump had a plan. Whereas for Kamala, I think that for a lot of these main issues, we didn't get a clear sense of where she was going to take us. And I think that truly this is why Trump ended up winning. I think that even though a lot of people, especially in the middle, did not like him, they at least appreciated the fact that he had a plan to move forward. And that's something that's undeniable. I mean, in the election, he won, and Republicans won by a landslide. Not only the presidential election, but everything else too. So after having a few days to think about the election and everything that went on, I truly do believe that she could have won if she ran with the right issues that affected America. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, just want to remind you that we must persevere. Peace.